Hey YouTube, Ender Angel here again with the second episode of the What If with Greater Power collection. The issue we will be covering in this episode is the What If the X-Men were 01000011. In this universe, instead of a mutant X gene that grants mutants superhuman powers, they have a gene called the .exe gene. This allows those with this gene to manipulate a cyberspace world created by Eric Linshear. Spoiler alert, I will be covering this story in depth. I'll be narrating the pages, so you've been warned, spoilers are ahead. The cover art depicts Cable and Domino. They appear to be plugged into the cyberspace system as we see multiple command prompts all around them. We also see the .exe/men prompt, which is the gene that they use to hack the system. Our story starts with Nathan Dayspring, aka Cable, madly tearing through the city, being chased by governmental drone craft. Cable is frustrated that he allowed himself to be roped into this mission. He places his transport onto auto drive as he grabs his rifle. In the back of the transport, Domino and Eric Linshear are plugged into the cyberspace system. Cable urges her to hurry. Cable climbs out onto the side of the transport where he'll be able to return fire to the drones. He feels the risk of this mission are far too high with very little benefit. He tells himself the next time Xavier asks him to save the world, that he will tell him that the world just isn't worth it. Several hours prior, we see Xavier laying out the mission for Cable and Domino. He is telling them that someone is hunting Eric in cyberspace with a virus called Nimrod. Xavier asks them to save his mind that is trapped in the system. Cable asks why they should get involved. Xavier tells him that Eric is the most famous person with the EXE gene, and if he is corrupted, he'll become a symbol of why they should fear them. Domino tells him that with the gene, they are able to make changes to cyberspace. They can generate weapons and break system protocols, making them effective mercenaries, so they should fear them. Xavier tries to reason with them, stating the Nimrod virus won't stop with just corrupting Eric, that the government would use him as an excuse to hunt everyone that has the EXE gene. Cable replies to him saying that hunting can go two ways. He states that it is only a matter of time before a fight will come anyways. Xavier is confident that Eric can prevent the war if they save him. Cable voices his concern, stating that Domino is strong in the virtual realm, but if this Nimrod virus is strong enough to take out Eric, then Dom may have trouble facing it. Xavier tells them that they will need to steal Eric's body so that they can link directly to him. Cable loses his temper that Xavier expects her to risk her mind while he hides here in the desert. However, Domino chimes in that they will take the mission. Cable pushes back, saying they would be better off dropping off the grid while the world tears itself apart in a revolution. Domino ignores Cable's remarks. Then she asks Xavier how long it will be before Nimrod would find Eric. Xavier tells her that Eric is hiding his mind behind a virtual firewall fortress, that it is only a matter of time before Nimrod blasts through it. Cable starts to walk away. He is not willing to risk their lives for such a foolish endeavor. Domino starts to follow Cable, screaming that Xavier is trying to do the right thing. Cable tells her that they are mercenaries for hire, that they aren't the hero types. Xavier reaches out to Cable's mind to tell him he can't save Eric because he is dying. Cable is shocked that Xavier is in his head. However, that takes a back seat to the news that he is dying. Xavier explains to them that the mutation that he received from the EXE gene allows him to neural interface with other users without being connected to cyberspace. However, this gift has taken his legs, and worse, is causing his nervous system to break down. Cable admires the fact that he is dying and yet he's still trying to save the world. But he does say that he at least owes him one favor. He tells Xavier they'll get it done for him, but afterwards that they would be even. Then he tells him to stay out of his mind. We return to the present. Cable is still fighting off hordes of drones. He jumps back into the cab once his ammo is exhausted. He overrides the auto-drive system. He tells Dom to hold on. He has a crazy idea. The computer tells Cable that he is off the road and on a collision course. The transport collides through the side of a building, sending civilians scrambling for their lives. We jump to an infomercial about cyberspace. We see Eric Linshear explaining that the EXE gene is a natural evolution from being connected to the system. Next we see governmental drones flying over the city, announcing that anyone with the EXE gene must be registered. Eric says that the safety of all within cyberspace is paramount to a functioning society. The EXE gene allows manipulation of the system, causing fear among those without the gene. Eric announces to the city that violence within cyberspace can and will be punished. He says he is seeking cyberspace to be equal for all, those with EXE genes as well as those with basic genes. Next, we see how violators are dealt with lethal force. Eric explains that the government violently enforces the Stryker Act, which could lead them to a revolution. Eric says he wants the world to end an age of fear for those with the EXE gene, and that he believes in the future. We now flash back to when Domino was connecting to the cyberspace system and to Eric's mind. She compares it to entering and sinking into a warm bath until it surrounds her. Hey guys, taking a brief break to remind you to like and subscribe, as this will really help the channel out. Plus, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified so you don't miss any of our future videos. Don't forget, or the brood will come and infest you and all your loved ones. Inside the system, poor people have a lack of privacy, as everything they do is monitored by corporations and the government. However, the rich can purchase their own space on the grid. They can live out all their fantasies. Eric's space is called Asteroid M, which is odd since it looks like a skyscraper. Entering a private cyberspace can only be accomplished by someone with the EXE gene. Doing so will have the government coming after her to put her down. Plus, she is looking for the Nimrod virus that is hunting Eric. She makes her first violation of the Stryker Act, using her EXE gene to create herself some weapons. She starts to think Cable was right about this being a bad idea. She then generates herself a cycle. She is determined not to let Eric be corrupted. Nimrod and whoever created it cannot be allowed to win, she tells herself. She knows that Eric will take refuge at the top of the tower, where he'll be the safest. If she wanted, she could use her gift to instantly spawn to the roof. However, she has decided to go in on the ground floor. She is hoping she can draw Nimrod out into the open. This way she can confront him before she reaches Eric. She is barely able to jump clear of the explosion of her bike as it is attacked. Her power in cyberspace is to see probabilities. Some might call it luck. She has gotten her desired result. Nimrod has come for her. Nimrod tells her they are both products of the tech of cyberspace. He refers to her as a disease. And of course, he refers to himself as the cure. Nimrod starts to self-replicate. As the copies attack, she flips away to avoid the fire. She lands on a wall behind her as she waits and calculates when to jump from the wall to avoid the attack. She knows she can't dodge the replicates forever, but with her powers she'll be able to determine which one of them is the real virus. She has a 1 in 7 chance to make the right call. Luckily, her powers help her to narrow the odds. However, the virus can repair itself. But at least she has bought herself some time to get to Eric. Domino calls to Eric that they don't have much time, that Nimrod will be on them in any second. She pauses and asks him, what is he doing? Domino finds that Eric has taken the form of a child. It's in an attempt to relive his childhood that disappointed him in the real world. Domino urges him that they need to leave cyberspace and to find the people that created Nimrod. Eric tells her that evolution is the cause of the oncoming war. He states that Xavier wants to avoid a war between those with the basic gene and those with the EXE gene. However, Eric states he has created a way to evolve everyone that logs into cyberspace to have the EXE gene, freeing cyberspace from fear and hate for those that are different. Eric suddenly turns on Domino. He tells her he doesn't need protection because he was the one that created the Nimrod virus to throw Xavier off of his trail. He tells her he believes in their coming future. Meanwhile, in the real world, Cable is still recovering from the crash. He hears Domino scream. Cable quickly opens the back hatch to check on her. He senses that Eric is somehow attacking her mind. Cable calls out to Xavier. He tells him he's not sure how he does what he does, but if he can hear him, that they need his help. Xavier has heard him, even out in his desert wasteland. Charles, out of concern and loyalty, remotely connects to cyberspace, even though the costs to his mind and his body are severe. Xavier appears in Eric's fortress. He orders him to stop, or he'll be forced to stop him. Eric says that his way is the best, that he can be the villain that forced the world to evolve, and Xavier can be the savior that brings unity when it is all said and done. Xavier asks Eric to forgive him as he thrusts his hand onto his forehead, attacking Eric's mind. Domino breaks the connection to cyberspace as she calls out Charles's name. Meanwhile, Xavier's lifeless body slides out of his chair and onto the desert sand. Eric is now awake, and he asks Domino if she is all right. Domino cusses at him as she asks him what he just did. Cable can sense that Eric is different. He asks him if he is now Charles Xavier. He tells him that his suspicions are correct, that he gave up his own body so he could avoid the war. We now see that Xavier, using Eric Lenshear's body, forms the X-Men in cyberspace. He states that they will stand together, no more running or hiding because they have the EXE gene. Xavier had to kill and take Eric's place in order to ensure peace. in order to form his X-Men. However, the taking of one life was to ensure that an unwinnable war could be avoided. So that concludes our second episode of the What If with Greater Power, What If collection. In our next episode, we will cover the What If Peter Parker became the Punisher. Here is a preview of this issue. Please like and subscribe to help the channel out. Also, hit the notification bell to get notified of when that new episode will hit. Thanks, guys. See you next time.